Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be what I picked up in CEX and HMV the other day when I went to town with the Debs. But first, I've got an unboxing for you. So I've just received a package today from Dennis McCullough, and Dennis got in touch with me and said he'd like to send me something. I'm going to have to hide his address here because I want to show you these two things on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those things off and I'm going to save those things because they're absolutely brilliant. And very good caricatures of Laurel and Hardy wearing their Sons of the Desert hat. So I'll just get this open and see what's in it. Nurse, scalpel. That's better. Now this has come from Northern Ireland. And it's been wrapped really well and it's come in excellent condition. So I'm excited to see what Dennis has sent me in this package here. And once again, I've got to thank Dennis for getting in touch with me and taking the time out to send me something across the waters actually. So what Dennis has sent to me, and I think this is a note in here, so get that out there. And it's, I'll tell you what I'm going to show you this after I've read it, because this has got some really neat writing, and I'm a big fan of neat writing actually. Dear John, I hope that you are keeping well. Just a little something enclosed in my thanks for the entertainment value that you give on YouTube. Thanks a lot. On your next holiday, visit the island over to left and experience the bold standard in fries, the Ulster fry. Best wishes, Dennis. Look at that. Excellent handwriting as well. And wow, I've never seen this whole thing here. It's absolutely brilliant. Thanks a lot, Dennis. So let's see what Dennis has sent. And actually, to be honest, me and the Debs are thinking about going across the island in the next maybe year or two, because it's somewhere we've always wanted to go. Deb has been across to Belfast before with work, and yeah, it's one, and she raved about the place. It was absolutely brilliant, and I know a lot of people who've been to Belfast and said it was really nice to go there. So we will go over to Ireland in the next couple of years, I would imagine. So what Dennis has sent me is Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, the Blu-ray double pack. Now, should I say triple pack? This is an absolutely amazing movie, as everybody knows. I'm a big fan of Hammer. So there you go. You've got disc 2. You've got two DVDs actually. You've got two DVD discs. That's what I say, and then the Blu-ray at the back. This has got a plethora of special features on. I'll just show you them there. And this is the last in the Frankenstein movies from Hammer. This was, I think, I'm going to guess I'd say maybe about 6 of them. And this was the last one that was made in 1974. And it shows a very slim Peter Cushing. And I think this was just after the death of his wife, which he took really badly. And because they were inseparable for many years, and he lost a lot of weight, didn't want to eat and all that, and apparently in this movie he was very forlorn, and his performance of Frankenstein is the best incarnation of Frankenstein by far. It says contains strong gore and horror. Now this is probably very tame by today's standards, but at the time there was a few things cut out. Mainly there was a jar of eyes, and that was cut out when somebody had to rummage through a jar of eyes. So you have a great cast in this movie. It has to be noted that you've got Madeleine Kahn here, and also the monster in this movie is played by Dave Prowse, otherwise known as Darth Vader. So yeah, we've got a lot of things going for it, this movie. If you haven't checked out any of these Hammer movies, especially the Frankenstein movies or the Dracula movies, you're missing out. I think all of them are available now in the UK. All of them are uncut as far as I know. So I think it's about time that me and the Debs revisited this classic franchise. And I want to thank Dennis once again for thinking of me and send this across to me. And you never know, we may get across to Ireland in the next couple of years. We may bump into you. So thanks once again, Dennis. Cheers, mate. So I managed to get those 2 stickers off the box in there with Dennis's note. These will sit in this case and they will go into my Hammer collection. So thanks once again to Dennis for sending to me. That's a 1974 classic Hammer movie, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. So first from CEX for £1.50, I got The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Now I've got to say a big thank you to my good friend Michael Hewitt, because Michael had sent me a load of slipcovers, and I've started to use these ones by when I go into CEX and see some of these ones on the shelves for really next to nothing. So these next few movies didn't come with slips in the shop, but thanks to Michael Hewitt, I'll slip these slips on, and it just adds a different dimension. Actually, it's got embossed on here as well. It's a lovely slip, I've got to say, and I think it just, you know me and me slips, it just really sets off the quality of the release for me. And really, if you've got something like that, it really adds that little bit of flair to it, I think. I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm going to wait until I get the 3 of them. I think I've got 2 of them, so I'm waiting to get the other ones. Got slips for them waiting, and I'll get them on there, and I'll give them a good watch in the series. I think this is the original trilogy. It's not the American remake trilogy. So that's The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Also for £1, I got The Girl on the Train. Now this one here, slip from Michael Hewitt. It's been one that I've been sort of looking at a few times. Didn't know anything about it. I thought it was a kind of witty film. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was like a romance film. But obviously with knowing Emily Blunt's in it, I thought I might give it a check out, because I do really think Emily Blunt's one of the best actresses around these days, and I just love everything I've seen her in. So yeah, so when I knew I had the slip for this, I thought, well, I'll go out and get this one, and I realised that it's kind of like a bit of a suspense, bit of a drama, bit of a whodunit. So for that reason, we'll definitely be watching it, and it really does look like a decent film. I heard a lot of good things about it back in the day. I just didn't know what genre it was from. So very excited to see that. That's The Girl on the Train. Next I got for 50p, Taken 2. Now, this one is, remember them rental copies? Yeah, you used to cringe when you used to see them, but I thought, no, you know what it is, I'll pick that up. It's in good condition, but I thought I'd pick that up just as a bit of a sort of reminder of days gone by when you used to get the rental copies, but used to always think I used to run a mile from these things. But I thought, on this one, I'll just get that one because it'll remind me of going back to Blockbusters and saying, please God, let this not be a rental copy. They're going to give it to me when I buy one. So yeah, nice bit of spot glossing in it. And this is the slip again from Michael Hewitt. So these ones here, these will sit on the shelves very nicely, and these are some of the massive amount of slipcovers that Michael Hewitt gives us, and I'm going through them, and whenever I see one, I will pick it up and I will put it onto these movies. So I want to thank Michael once again for giving me the chance to own these with a nice slipcover, because I like the slipcovers. And also, Deborah's a big fan of Taken 2. Now, I've never seen any of the Taken movies. I do like Liam Neeson, so I thought, well, about this time when I get the other 2, I will check them out. So that's Taken 2. Where's he taken to? Get it? Next, for £1.50, I've got a movie that we saw on Sky Movies, and we really enjoyed this movie. It is Spy. Now, I think that this movie is absolutely brilliant. I think it's so funny. It may not be to everyone's tastes, but the premise of this Melissa McCarthy, who's going to be kind of like a bumbling idiot, really, she gets involved with these people and becomes like a spy. It's a comedy of misadventures, and I do think it's got some really funny bits in it. And funny enough, these films, the 15s, it's amazing what you can get in a 15 these days. There's some quite over-the-top stuff in this movie. Some stuff that's depicted on when they find these files and they look through them and they find out what these pictures are. And when you look at them, you think, wow, I can't believe this is like literally a 15. It would have never got through back in the day as a 15. But anyway, this movie for us was a bit of a fun time. Very enjoyable. So that's Spy. And lastly, from CEX, speaking of really nice covers, I got this movie, and I got it for £8. I've seen this sort of on the shelves for £10 and £12 going up and down, up and down. I can tell you that this one must have had about 10,000 stickers on it for the price, because when I took it off, it took a bit of it. I mean, I used the lighter fuel and everything, but it did take a little bit of the sticker off behind it, because there was that many stickers on it. There was like loads of little bits, and it must have just been ripped off about 3 or 4 times, because I've seen it going up and down price quite a lot. And so what I had to do is I've just had to like colour it in a little bit with a marquee pen.
Where's me ladders?
There's only a few spots of the cover came off, but it's not the point really. When you pay £8 for something, you expect them to at least try and take the sticker off previously in a fashion where they wouldn't rip the cover. But anyway, so what I got for £8 was Meatball Machine. Now this cover really spoke to me, and I've looked at this cover quite a few times. I always thought this was a narrow release. It's not. It's from a company called Terracotta Films, and I've never heard of them at all. Now in the back there, that'll tell you what the special features are there. The blurb on the back says, Japan has been invaded by a parasitic alien life form, finding human hosts to insert themselves into and transforming the host into slave cyborgs. Wow. So yeah, so I don't know if you can see in the bottom there, I've been touching it there with little, you know, you can see there like the blue on the pen. Just, I mean, you can't really see it. It's just something I had to just do because it was just a bit of like these white flecks on the cover. Just a bit shame that they couldn't have just took a little bit more time to just take them off or tease them off. Maybe they couldn't get them on because they're stuck that much. And if they just took it anyway, you know what I'm going to say. It's just people just not taking the time or respecting the property that they've got. But you can make a whole new video on that one, couldn't you? But this movie here, so I stuck it on, and I didn't know anything about it, but I have heard some good things about it. It's a bit of an extreme movie, and I think there's a little bit of the director on here at the start of the movie was saying that he's a big fan of extreme movies like Tokyo Ghoul Police and things like that. Really extreme Japanese horror. So he wanted to make a movie like that, so he did. So this one has all the makings of being like that. Now, the funny thing is about movies like Tokyo Ghoul Police, they are shot usually on video, and they do look quite good, but they are video to look at. Now, this one is exactly the same. It is like a video presentation, and if I'm honest, the picture sometimes on it looks really ropey. Other times it looks quite good. I think it's just the way it was shot, and I don't think it's to do with anything with the mastering. It's a reason being locked as well. But this one's always intrigued me, mainly for the cover. And I thought, well, when I saw it at a reasonable price, and I'm sick of waiting for this to come down any further, because when you think it's coming down, it went to £10, then it went to 12, now it went to 10, now it's back to 8. So anyway, I pounced on it and I've got it. I'm really interested to see what this looked like, because all the other Japanese extreme movies that I've looked at have always been absolutely brilliant. So that's Meatball Machine. So next I went to HMV, and when I was in there, they were playing a new album by this band, and I thought, oh wow, I'm going to go and get that one. I didn't realise it was out. I thought it was out at the end of this month. So what I picked up was Doggerel by Pixies. Now, this movie is the 8th album by Pixies, and if I'm honest, I can't believe they only released 8 albums because, well, they broke up for about 20 years, and then they got back together again. Now, we saw them, I think it was about 2018, and they played for 2 hours solid. And the previous album they had in 2019 called Beneath the Eyrie, that was absolutely intense, that album. I just loved it. And funny enough, they played the whole album. We hadn't heard the album at that time. So when they played the whole songs, we didn't really know what they were. Just wish we'd heard the album before we'd heard seen the gig. And we thought that the new stuff was brilliant. Now this one here, I've went and I've looked online to watch most of the songs on this album and on videos, and I think it's either Vault of Heaven or There's a Moon. It's just one of the best songs I've ever heard by them. Now the thing I like about the Pixies and the thing I like about music is when some band have got like a song that's got a good chord progression, or the chuck a chord into the mix which you think, oh, I didn't expect that one to come. I really like that. Now this song, I don't know which one it is yet because I haven't heard this album in full yet. I haven't heard this album at all actually. I've got to put it on and have a listen to it in the car. Now, when I do that, I will find out what this song is. And I know that there was other songs that I've seen in this live gig I watched, and they were playing some of the songs from this album that all sounded absolutely incredible, as they always do. They're such great songwriters, Pixies. And if you're wondering what doggerel means, it means doggerel is poetry that is irregular and in rhythm and in rhyme, often deliberately for burlesque or comic effect. So there you go. So really excited to hear this album in full in the car, because me and the Debs are big fans of Pixies. So that's Doggerel by Pixies. So lastly from HMV, I picked up Violence in a Woman's Prison. Just having a sense of this cover a little bit. Very exploitational. So this is from the Italian collection, and this is spine number 74. It's from 1982. Now this movie was directed by the amazing Bruno Mattei. He was responsible for Burial Ground, which is one of the best films you'll ever see. And this is basically a woman in prison movie. And I think for some reason there was a bit of a trend in the early 80s for these movies, around about the late, like 1980 to 85. There was these women in prison movies. To be honest, when I've seen a couple of them and I didn't really rate them at all, I thought they were very poor. Now, but I do collect this range, so I am going to get this range, and all these movies that come in with it. It's nice to see the fact that they've got these exploitational covers and they put stuff on which are just, you would never had this out back in the day. When I mean back in the day, I mean after the Video Nasties thing in 1984. There was literally, even the covers were highly censored for years afterwards, a good 20 years. So to have exploitational covers is a bit of a wow thing, because for me, it was part of the joy of the Video Nasties when you used to see these exploitational graphic videos covers and used to wonder what was in them. Usually they weren't anywhere near as good as what they pertain to be on this on the covers of them. But you did really think, wow, this has got to be something like next level, and usually it wasn't. But it's nice to see those things back on. So on here as well, it's got a bit of an exploitational cover on the flip art, which is kind of like that. And it's got more in here as well. So yeah, so it's got a lovely booklet in here, which has got like a lot of pictures in it, but it's really well drawn. Shame I can't show you any of it, because it's one of those things where you just think, oops. Now, this movie for me is one of the movies that's in the collection. I don't know anything about it, like I don't know anything about most of them up there, but I've always had a good time with them, and I've always found this line right away along there has been one of the best, best lines that have given me something that I've thought, hang on a minute, this is a good movie, and I would have never known about this movie. In fact, I've never heard of it. I've heard of quite a few of the women in prison movies, but never this one. So interested to see it, and it does say that it's quite, over the top in what it shows. But anyway, these movies, it's nice to see actually in this range that you're getting movies that are not just usual giallos, things like that. You're getting a bit zombie stuff there, but you've got some really like a broad range. You've got some police stuff there as well. So I like the fact of them just exploring different avenues. So yeah, you don't know what's going to pop up next time. And also as well, I'm going to say again, you're getting the thin slipcover one here, and the big, like really nice plush ones seem to be sort of coming and going, which is a bit of a strange one, but it is what it is. So anyway, so that's a really, they're all interesting, these movies interest me. And some of them, that Hitcher in the Dark is one of the best films I've seen recently. So that's, I'll just put this one back up there just about now. So that's Violence in a Woman's Prison. What a title. So I flicked through this movie, and I've got to say the quality on it is okay. It's not great. Some of the qualities on these are like 4K remastered. And this is a 2K remastered, and it looks a little bit grubby, a little bit grotty, but I think the movie in itself does look that way. I don't think you're going to polish this movie any more than it is. And the sound, it's an English dub as well. So it's one of those ones where I don't mind some movies looking a bit grubby and a bit grotty, because I think that's what they would look best at. If they were really polished up, they probably wouldn't look anything like realistic to what they should be. So that's Violence in a Woman's Prison. So thanks for watching, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.